Mother Walker's tripping again, Anika's out, and who's going to win the Battle of Empire? Cookie or Andre? All that next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, Afterbuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Here we are, being serenaded by Jamal and Warren's obvious love song connection, bringing it all together. Empire fans, welcome in for episode 2 of season 4, Full Circle. I'm Jill Munroe, your host. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. And tonight, we have a new member of the panel joining us. Meet Mr. Zack Peter.
How's it going, Jill?
Hi, Zack. Tell them where to find you.
You guys can find me at Just Plain Zack, and that is Zack with a K.
Zack with a K. So we have so much to talk about tonight on
Yes,
Empire.
we do.
Shout out to Abigail. She had a little issue tonight, so you guys will see her next week and our other new panel members. So I know you're excited about that. But on to Empire. So
Digging this jam.
You are. You know what? I'm
It's making
digging
me feel
it too.
sexy. I'm like getting ready to pull my Tinder up.
Look, bring it back for a
Pull up
second.
the-
Okay.
This is like what I'm gonna swipe to on
Jamal
Tinder.
in love always makes the best music.
I love it. I know. I
Jamal
love when he's in
in
love.
love
When
makes
Jamal
the
is
best
in
music.
love, it makes that do the dirty music.
The good, feel-good music, the connection, We'll talk about that, though.
Yes.
So let's start off. We are back looking at Lucious. Lucious is still not recovered of his memory. Nurse Claudia, I'm sorry, is she a nurse, doctor, therapist? Claudia.
She's shady AF. That's how we'll label her. That's her official title.
Shady AF
Shady
Claudia.
AF.
Still has a firm hold on Lucious, but we see he's sort of trying to break free. He wants to go bathe himself. We see him take off that foot. I'm not going to get over that they blew Lucious's leg off. I can't let that go.
I know. I can't let that go either. It's just still I'm still getting used to it.
We couldn't have just put a metal piece in it or something.
Normally they have a little scrapes, but we just took off the whole leg.
The whole leg, that can't come back. There's nothing that can
Yeah,
happen
there's
with
no
that.
coming
There's
back from
no
that.
coming back from that. So anyway, we see Lucious in the tub kind of gathering himself together, and Mother Walker walks in, and a scene that was a reenactment, I can't remember if it was season 3 or season 2, when Kelly Rowland was his mom, played his mother.
I think it was season 2.
Season 2, and she pushed him in the water as a child, because of her mental issues, to try and kill him. And she's saying he's pure evil, and she's trying to take him out, even though he doesn't remember. That scene was kind of intense to me because you forget how deadly at times Mother Walker really and still is. What did you think about that?
Yeah, well, she killed somebody last season. We can't forget that. And I think it was really intense. And I'm surprised that it didn't bring any flashbacks or memories about his relationship with his mother and kind of that
Exactly.
abuse that he went through. But I think we're finally seeing Mama Lion go crazy again. And she's really, I want to know what's motivating this though.
The drama. And speaking of drama, let me talk to you super fans for a quick second. Let's get away from Empire just for a moment to tell you about all the new things that are happening here at Afterbuzz TV. If you haven't noticed, Empire is now on a brand new YouTube channel, YouTube Drama. Make sure you are subscribing, and that's because we want the content to match all of your needs, for you to be able to find it, for it to be all grouped together. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have 9 YouTube channels now. So there's a comedy one, there's reality TV, sci-fi and fantasy, red carpets, everything that you could possibly think of. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. As you know, Afterbuzz TV is the leader in custom TV coverage, and we're always looking to improve. So I know you have comments. I know you have feedback. You can drop it in the comments, or you could directly reach out to us at Afterbuzz TV. I know you're following. If you're not, what's going on? Or send an email, info@afterbuzztv.com. So remember, featured and original, that's the original channel. You can always go there. But red carpets, wrestling and sports, animation, reality competition, reality TV, sci-fi, superhero and fantasy, drama and comedy. And we're on drama. So anyway, back to the show.
Because we bring the drama.
We do bring the drama, and so do the Lions. So we see Claudia rush in, and she's like, what's going on? She gets Mother Walker to back up. And we're just sort of left with that last image like, okay, is Claudia ready to go up against Mother Walker? And it's also one of those situations where you're like, you know, Mother Walker's crazy, but sometimes she's right.
That's what I was gonna say. So do you think that she has a point? Like, is there like some psychic ability or just something in her where she
That she
sees
can
the
read the
evil
vibe?
in? Yeah, I think she can read the vibe. Because at first I'm like, okay, she's definitely crazy, especially if she's trying to drown her young son in a bathtub. But now her son's like a grown man,
Right.
and he's like evil. Like, I mean, he has an
know.
evil side. So I think Mama Walker's got a point.
She does have a point, but, you know, we can't just go off offing people.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Because
kind of
then
a
we'd have
habit
no
of
show. We already took off his life, but let's
whatever.
save his life a little longer.
So we move on from there to the studio. We see the business of Empire trying to get back in effect. We see Becky running around doing the A&R
Love
job,
it.
which she has the interim title, Go Becky Go. She convinced Jamal to forgive Tori, you know, so they're back kind of cool.
Do you think that was shady what she did
What she did with...
to Jamal with Tori?
You know, we can talk about that in a little bit, but I think that Becky had a point because remember, we saw the producer was loving whatever Jamal originally put down. And if for whatever reason you're in some type of deal, it seemed like some sort of sponsorship deal,
Right.
you kind of have to give
You have to
the
abide by the
people paying
contract.
the rules
Yeah.
what they want. So we'll talk about if it was shady, but it definitely, you know, was a little interesting to note. So then we roll to Andre. He's out and about in a club and rolls up on this mystery woman, Tiana Paris of Survivor's Remorse. And they're at the bar, you know, light banter. The next thing we know, they're in the bathroom about to get it on, but Andre, he's
Couldn't
having
get
a
it
little
up.
misfunction.
Something's not working down there, and I think he's a little too young to be having that problem.
No Viagra for him. He said that it is the medicine. We know Andre is bipolar, so he said that he's on a new medication, and I guess it's giving him desire issues, but we know Andre has some deeper issues than that. I still haven't gotten past the ghost threesome from season 3. I just can't get past that. That was a lot.
That was
for
a
me.
lot.
It was a lot.
That was a lot to
So,
take in.
You know, maybe
on the beach, yeah.
You know, we don't know what's happening. Maybe Rhonda's back in his head. You know, I don't know. So he couldn't get it up, and she tells him, "You just missed out on the best piece of that you could have had." And she sashayed out the bathroom. No exchange, no numbers exchanged, not even names exchanged. You know, just kind of left
Left
it
it hanging. I don't know. I feel like I would do the same.
You know, I personally don't know if I'd be hooking up with anybody in the bathroom. So, you know, I don't know. That was just interesting to me. I'm still looking for Nessa. I'm still wondering what happened with
Nessa?
Andre's last relationship. We can't be moving him
PSA,
on.
where is Nessa?
Right. But
Hashtag where is Nessa?
Hashtag.
Like, we're going to get this trending.
anyway, we might need to do that, you know, APB and such. So we get back to the house and we see that Cookie is rolling through while Claudia's chilling like the queen of the castle. And
Yes,
Cookie's like,
ma'am.
move my things over there, send it to the West Wing. Cookie's home.
I was happy when I saw her come in and she was taking charge. I'm like,
Yes.
Cookie, it is about time. We need to put Claudia in her place.
Absolutely. Because she's mad comfortable.
Oh, yeah. Like, way too comfortable with
And they're-
him in the bathtub. And I'm like, no,
way
we're not
too
doing that.
touchy-feely. I don't know. So Cookie moves in, and you know, her and Claudia are exchanging looks, beef, whatever, power struggle, and Lucious is just kind of there. You know, I know he has memory loss, and he's the kinder, gentler Dwight. But I'm telling you, the
I don't
portrayal
like
of
Dwight. I'm not feeling the Dwight. I need me some Lucius back in my life.
Do you?
Like, that's what got the show for me was Lucius.
His ruthlessness.
Give me more Lucius.
I mean, I would like to see a balance, but I can't have all this sucker Lucius. I don't know. So
a bit
then, after that, we flash to court. And we see Hakeem, who is still clearly going through things, even though he seems really happy being a dad right now with that responsibility. It's obviously bringing him and Tiana closer together as she's kind of stepped in to take on the role of mom while Anika's in jail.
I like it. I'm not liking Anika's hair, though.
You don't like the long hair? She needs to go back to short and sassy?
Yes, I like
Yes.
short and sassy on her.
Killer.
It feels her. Like, it fits her.
But I suppose, you know, being in jail for 5 or 6 months, you probably can't get
Yeah,
that
you
killer
can't tame
haircut.
it.
So you got to just take whatever
I like
they
her her in
give
like
you.
a nice fitted dress with like her short hair, where she's just like boss lady, whereas this is like, I'm ready to snap. Like I'm about to see her on Snap.
Well, so she's in the courtroom. We see that she's being, I guess they're considering releasing her on parole. The judge denies it, saying because it was a federal agent. They remind the judge that the federal agent was on leave or retired because we know Tyreek was dirty. And, you know, she's like, no, I can't be in here. So she kind of turns to Hakeem, runs back actually across the court before they lead her back out, and says, get Cookie in here now and tell her, what was it? January 7th, 2015. She repeated it several times. January 17th, 2015. So, you know, we find out shortly what that means. But in the meantime, while we're marinating on that, we see Nurse Claudia is trying to jog Lucious's memory once again. So she takes him
not all she's trying to jog.
You think she's trying to juggle something? Juggle a little memory impairedness? I don't know. Something's up with Claudia. I don't know if she works for the Dubois. I don't know if she's a crazy Misery fan.
Yeah, there's something shady there.
Definitely. So we're at this diner, someplace that Lucious has frequented a lot throughout the course of his career. And Clem, the owner of the diner, comes over and he's like, hey, Lucious, you know, everyone's heard about, obviously, his accident. They don't know that he has memory problems. So the exchange is kind of awkward, but Clem drops some gems for Lucious so that he's making some connections. He mentions a friend named Eddie that Lucious used to always come there with, who's a composer. And, you know, Lucious is getting more and more curious about the man that he used to be. So he tells Claudia he's going to the bathroom, hollers at Clem, trying to get in touch with Eddie. And he's like, oh, Eddie's busy today. You know, his niece is getting married at the country club he owns. You should check him out there.
Hint, hint.
I just have one question. How did Lucious know how to get there if he doesn't remember anything?
Right. Well, I mean, maybe Surrey helped him out.
True.
He's like, Surrey, get me there. I mean, would he even remember Surrey? Like, I feel like I'm so confused as to how much and what he actually remembers.
Like, does he not remember who he was at all? Are bits of it? Is there a certain
Well, he remembers Dwight-ish, right? Like, he remembers himself as Dwight.
I don't know.
I can't figure out, like, what the capacity of that memory is.
So, you know, but he goes venturing off to kind of fill in those blanks. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like...
I was like, it's about time he stood up for himself.
Yeah.
He wanted to regain his memory. He wanted to connect with whatever was in his past that he's now found at this diner. And I was like, it's about time. Like, kick Claudia to the curb and get on with it. Go see what's going on. Go see what's going on. So I think she's dragging this out a little too long.
Yeah. He gets to the wedding, and, you know, obviously it's a beautiful setup. He doesn't clearly remember anyone there, but Eddie sees him, Forrest Whitaker, who knew he had some pipes.
Right?
Who knew he had pipes? So we see Forrest Whitaker playing the role of Eddie. And, you know, he sees Lucious, obviously. He embraces his friend. And because the cab driver, Uber driver, whoever it was that got Lucious to the wedding, mentioned the triple play, the 3 songs that got that he bagged a lot of women with. One to bag him at the club, one on the ride home, and then when she got to the house, one to turn her out and flip her. Apparently that was a thing.
They need to give Andre some tips.
You know, don't be that way about Andre. Andre is dealing with some very serious things right now. So we kind of leave off there. We hear the conversation. We see that Lucious obviously is dropping signs that he can't really remember everything that's going on. And Eddie starts telling a story about Lucious viciously beating someone up, throwing them in the trunk, and knew Lucious can't handle it.
Because then didn't he start having flashbacks?
He did, of seeing him beating the person, and it horrified him. You know, because we know Lucious was a killer. And we aren't just saying that subtly. Lucious was literally a killer, which we all know. So
see, Mama is onto something.
Right. Let's talk about it. Talk about that. So Lucious, like, jumps up, tries to get himself out of there, and ends up kind of stumbling, almost pulling his little left fake leg off. But he doesn't. And, you know, Eddie's like amazed. Everyone's looking like, oh my God, what's happening with Lucious? Because this is this huge star that just showed up at a wedding. So, you know, we'll talk about what develops with that. Meanwhile, a lot was going on with the music this episode and the business of Empire.
Yes.
We see Becky now in the studio with Hakeem. And
Jamal.
No.
Oh,
Remember we
Hakeem.
went
Yes,
back with
yes, yes,
Hakeem
yes.
because Hakeem is working on a follow-up to
Yep.
His All Things. He needs a big hit equal to Drip Drop, which Drip Drop was in season 1, right?
Drip Drop was like season 1, episode 1.
Okay, so I'm like,
That was like
wow, we're
early
still
on.
talking
Yeah,
about
we're really
that.
going
I thought
back.
we had a bunch of different hits in between there, but apparently not. So it's time for Hakeem to bring out another hit, and Becky wants it to be along the lines of Drip Drop, so a pop hit that, and I personally feel that at this point in time, pop music is largely hip hop. So
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover. And I like Drip Drop. I'm on that thing, go drip, drop, drip, drippity
Did
drop.
you really?
I like Drip Drop. Like, that was the only time I ever drip dropped it. So I'm not hating Becky's suggestion to bring in another Drip Drop hip hop jam.
but Hakeem is feeling like that's soft.
Yeah, it's too soft for him. He's always trying to be hard. I feel like he would, maybe the baby makes him want to be a little harder now that he's a dad.
Could be all of that. I think he's just trying to sort of, establish himself to make sure that he doesn't lose touch with the streets. Because that is sort of the curse of going pop. If you lose touch with your organic audience,
It's true.
when you pass as a fad to, when you're chasing another audience, then what happens? You don't have your
You
base
lose,
anymore.
yeah, you lose your
So,
race.
Speaking of addictions and insanely intense things that we love, the most instantly addictive show of the fall is here. Wednesday, October 11th on the CW. The highly anticipated series premiere of Dynasty. Let me talk about how, as a little kid, I loved this show in the 80s, all glamour. So if you haven't seen the original, it's one of the most iconic shows. The fashion, the fight scenes. I think it might have been the first time we heard the word bitch uttered on television when they were speaking of Alexis Kobe. Well, the CW version of Dynasty is already getting major love from critics, and you won't be able to get enough of the drama. You know they have to bring the drama. It's from the producers of Gossip Girl and the OC, so you know that means it's major. It's going to give you what you need. The Carringtons are the family that have it all. Their business is literally power, and they'll do anything to get more. Blake Carrington rules the dynasty by any means necessary, and that includes manipulating his kids, Fallon and Steven. So Fallon Carrington is ready to take over the family business and the world, but she's in for a shocker. Cue Crystal, her father's equally ambitious wife, that stepmom, daughter drama. They are going to clash, and she's young, so they're probably near the same age. Get ready for the women on the show because they're all bosses. They're not fighting for a man. They are fighting for business and family. It's bigger than big. For the Carringtons, that's the same thing. Don't miss the series premiere of Dynasty, Wednesday, October 11th, after the series premiere of Riverdale on the CW. Now that we discussed another dynasty, let's get back to the Lyon dynasty. So, Becky is really trying to assert herself, and I'm happy for her because we've seen her go through the ups and downs. We've seen her try and make the A&R thing get played out by the marketing guy last season. So, I think that they have to take in some of what she's saying. She knows what she's talking about. Her instincts are generally on point.
She's been around, and I think they're so used to her being at a lower level at the company that they're used to kind of just mulling over her, where now she's really trying to fight to have her voice heard. And mad props to Becky. She's been around long enough to be able to have her voice matter at the table.
Yeah, so I was a little disappointed in Jamal. Becky comes back, and Jamal has reworked the entire song. Warren, his new boo, who's a lawyer but never seems to be in the law office. He seems to be right there posted next to Jamal, because Jamal be thotting and bopping with his new boos. They always look delicious. We had Terrell Carter here last week for episode 1, so check that out. He is an interesting foe. We know he's a double agent. He's working for the Dubois, but I see him getting caught up. Yeah.
He's so good with Jamal. Like, you can feel the chemistry and I'm like want to root for him, even though like I know he's a double agent. So I think I'm with you, and I'm hoping that he falls for Jamal and then he's like gonna take down the Dubois family.
Yeah, from the inside. But you know, we kind of have to see. So they start working on this other piece, and Becky's like, you can't do that. As we discussed, change it back. And they're kind of like, what? That's great. I don't know why you tripping, Becky. We're best friends. You know, and when she tells him, boy, come out of the booth sounding like Cookie, Jamal instantly is like, listen, my company, you can be looking for another job.
Yeah.
So the line in the sands are drawn.
He threw that card down.
I think it's hard working for a friend. I think that that's one of the problems in business, especially if you are answering to a friend in some capacity. I think those type of things can be difficult at times for some people, especially as close as they were.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really saw their relationship develop over the past few seasons, and they were really close. And Becky was really a shoulder for Jamal to cry on at times. And so now where she has to be the authoritative figure and has to kind of lay down the law, especially when he's under contract and there are obligations that need to be met for the company, that puts her in a really challenging position.
Yeah, but she has a job to do. I mean,
she gotta do
you know, I'm not mad at Becky. I'm happy that she's finally stepping up because I was worried about her. I was worried that she was just going to
get run over. Yep.
Yeah. So meanwhile, back to Andre, we see in the boardroom there are some detectives there. We're still trying to figure out where Jussie disappeared to, Juliana, and what's going on. And when he walks in the room, there are two detectives and a police department liaison, Detective Pamela Rose, who is the lady from the club bathroom.
Uh-oh.
I mean, for me, I was like sitting there like, detectives be cruising the bars trying to pick up and get a little one-hitter quitter thing.
Right.
But, you know, hey, I like it.
Yeah,
Welcome aboard.
I'm not hating it.
Both she and Andre were kind of sitting there stuck. You know, Andre obviously is intrigued because he clearly likes difficult women who are powerful.
It's his type.
Probably has something to do with his mom. But we won't get into that now. We'll psychoanalyze Andre later, I'm sure. So once the officers ask their questions, they're looking for Julie. Have you heard anything? We hear Thirsty pipe in like, nope, we're trying to take care of this too. Anything we hear, we'll pass along for you. Thank you for dropping by unexpectedly and unannounced. You know, she hangs back and they have an exchange about their exchange in the club. So Andre immediately assumes that she was trying to set him up in some capacity. Although,
I did too. When I first saw it, I thought she knew what she was doing. But then I was like, well, I don't know. That's a really risky territory.
I feel like set him up for what though? What are you trying to bang him in the bathroom and then show up at his job? What's he really going to tell a one-hitter quitter?
Maybe just try to build that relationship to get inside, to get some dish.
I thought you were going to say something else. I don't know why. Sorry, my mind just went there really quickly. So, because I guess that was part of the thing. Anyway, so we see this exchange. Obviously, there's some chemistry there. So we will definitely be seeing more of Detective Pamela Rose and Andre later. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, she's going to be around for a minute.
She absolutely is. In the meantime, once again, the business of Empire must go on. And we know that Andre would like to sell Empire Extreme, the streaming service, to bring in some more money because I guess since Lucious has been down and out, you know, the biggest money makers for the label are Jamal and Hakeem, and they haven't been recording. Right. We don't know what happened to Nessa. Tiana, we don't know what she's been doing.
Now.
I mean, kind of. She's baby mama now, yeah. Right. So everybody's kind of been chilling. So we see Cookie and Portia and Becky walking down. So Becky tells her what happened. Well, I kind of skipped that. Becky thinks on her feet. She puts Tori's vocals on the original track that Jamal did. It's a match. It's a go. And the producer loved it, threw in an extra $500,000 for a budget and all these extra things. And for a company that is short on cash flow and in need of a raised profile,
it needed that.
It was a savvy business move.
And he agreed to finance the whole music video. Like, he hooked up the deal.
So, you know, Cookie respected her hustle, respected her gangster, especially given the fact that she went against her best friend. And that caused Cookie to take the interim title off of Becky's job. So Becky is now officially A&R and a 30% salary bump.
Right.
Listen, let me tell
Becky.
you, when I was in corporate America, 3 to 5% is what you were lucky to get on
Right?
your year to year.
30%.
Maybe 10% if you got a job raise. 30%.
I was calculating old
Ballin'.
salaries and been like, how much is 30? Oh, that's real good.
Listen. Let's say Becky was making like $40,000. That is like $12,000 more
Yeah.
a year. I could do a lot with that.
Right?
Right? Just gonna gift it to me? That's cool. So I'm really happy with that for Becky. So then Cookie goes. Obviously, they're having this media press conference that Cookie has been pushing off because the public wants to know the state of Empire. So what Cookie was supposed to do was to stand up there and tell them that they were selling Empire Extreme and piecing off the company. Instead, Cookie has a new plan. For the 20th anniversary of Empire, they're going to release 20 albums from 20 different artists. That's a whole lot of
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of artists. That's a lot of music. That's a lot of studio time.
Right. And so Andre's just sitting there looking embarrassed and upset. And they get into the office and it goes down. Because we have to remember the whole reason why Lucious doesn't have a leg and is going through this is because of Andre and Shine. Mm-hmm. So Andre, I guess, was thinking, okay, this is how I'm going to get myself into position. We're going to push Lucious off the way. We're going to get some money and flow in here. And Cookie's like, nope. We a family. We doing it this way. You are an employee, and if you raise your voice at me again, and she even got the bat. And we saw her go crazy with that bat last season, right?
She tore up that
So
studio.
we know that Cookie is nothing nice with the bat.
Does not mess around with that bat.
And it has a nice placement right behind the desk
Right behind
for
the
easy
desk,
access.
ready for her to grab it at any moment. She's about to regulate.
Swing better. And she tells Andre that he'll be sharpening up his resume if he doesn't get it together, and he needs to go home and think about it. That must be rough. Your boss is also your mom.
Yeah,
so.
well, and how many times has he run into this position where he's so close to getting Empire, and then someone new comes in and has to check him?
Well,
I don't know if he's ever gonna get Empire.
I
feel like he's always just so close, but the bathroom.
I think he needs to create. Well, I guess he tried to with Vegas create something on his own, but
that's what I mean. Every time he gets there, it just.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Snatched right from under him.
So we don't know if Andre is going to try and wage war silently against Cookie again, if he's going to sit back.
I mean, let's just blow her up too. Let's take out her arm. Let's just piece off all of the family while we're piecing up the company.
I know. Something crazy.
What's going on, Andre?
Well, Andre is an interesting one, so we'll see. So next, Anika's free.
Yes.
Thank
you, Thirsty. Props to Thirsty.
Right.
Thirsty knows how to I didn't like him at the beginning, but now I'm like, okay, he handles business.
He handles business. It may be kind of unsavory, but he gets it in.
He gets it done.
Anika did have some leverage, though. She told Cookie January 7, 2015. That was the date that Bunky was killed. Mm-hmm. So who's her cousin? And she's like, I know who did it, and I'll sing, I'll talk, blah, 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 blah. Y'all get me up out this piece. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Cookie should have been a little more sympathetic to her position, considering that she did 17 years in jail. But, whatever. Anika's free, and she immediately goes to go get her baby and see Hakeem. I'm kind of wondering, did she think she and Hakeem were kind of developing something again?
I don't think she could have. I mean, they didn't. There was no chemistry. There was nothing left by the time she got arrested. Well, other than the baby.
But I thought because they had that, secret together about the,
it would be a bonding
Mama
connection.
Dubois.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That storyline is going to be tricky.
I think we need to stay away from Anika. She's 50 Shades of Crazy.
So, Anika's free. We see it's obviously it's a musical sequence where we just see what's happening. Mm-hmm. We see the connection that Tiana obviously has with the baby. And Anika's face when she saw Tiana with the baby. I thought we were gonna have another Rhonda situation.
I thought she was about to get thrown off that building. She was about to get pushed out that window if that baby wasn't in her arms.
Something crazy was going to happen. So we see that sequence. Then we jump over to the house and we see Mama Walker going through Cookie's stuff. And, Cookie's like, lady, if you don't get out of here, you're not even supposed to be on this side of the house. We know that they've had their beefs before, and he didn't actually want her with her. But Mama Walker drops a gem on Cookie that she had no idea about. She's like, yeah, first of all, you got to get that witch up out of here, talking about Claudia. And if Claudia doesn't roll out, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take things in my own hands like I always do, just like I got that devil and made that other witch go to jail for it. Cookie was like, what?
Admitted she did it. It was like, I didn't think she would actually come out with it. Everyone, nobody knew that she actually killed him until...
Lucious knew.
Lucious saw. Yeah, Lucious was there.
Thirsty knows.
Thirsty knows, because he had to clean it up.
Yeah, but, so I wonder, does Cookie believe her? Or does she think that Mother Walker's just talking crazy?
I think Cookie believes her. I think Cookie was finally like, okay, she's actually crazy, and if she actually did kill her, this is something to be alarmed with.
So we have a minor moment where obviously Claudia and Cookie come together and decide that they're going to have Mother Walker committed.
Yeah.
And they're going to have Lucious sign the paperwork to do it.
I don't know why she didn't get committed sooner.
I don't know.
Why did we keep her around for so long?
Because of Lucious. He was like, my mother's not going away. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. He was concerned.
But he's the one that locked her up. I didn't understand why he was now all of a sudden sympathetic, even though she was still crazy and wanting to kill everybody.
You never know.
I mean, she was spitting threats left and right when she got out.
The thing I thought was interesting is Lucious competent enough to sign paperwork like
that?
No,
not at all. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Even legal?
I mean, they did it.
But also, my part 2 to 3 to that is if you do think that she killed Tyreek and sent Anika to jail, and you're sending her away, what's she gonna do in there? What's she gonna say? I guess we'll find out later, because clearly she's being let off, and she just fixed her suit, which is always scary to me when you take the calm thing.
You stop and you're like,
just adjust yourself. Mother Walker's gonna be back.
Oh yeah,
with some foolishness.
Oh,
yes, she will. So after we see that happen, we see Lucious again upset. Obviously had a bad dream. It's storming this night. Gets up out of bed, and for whatever reason, he immediately goes where? Claudia's room. And we see Claudia packing, which I thought was odd. I mean, I know she lost him, but everybody seemed to get past that. They weren't really mad at her. Eddie brought him home. He came to the house.
And it actually seemed to be in his best interest, because he started to remember little pieces, and even Cookie was like, he's with family. That's going to be good for him. So it's not like they thought it was a bad thing that it was bad, but it's not like they were really holding that against her.
Right. So it just seemed really schemy. She was trying to get some leverage, which we obviously saw she had some, because Lucious was in tears, begging her not to go. Her face was the first thing he remembered when he woke up. He sounds like he's in love to me.
It makes me sad, though, because I'm so pro Cookie and Lucious, even though they're so toxic and so bad for each other. I'm just but I want them to be together so badly.
I just think that it's crazy. You can't be dealing with your patients.
No, not at all. I think Claudia needs to bounce. She needs to kick rocks.
She's giving me Kathy Bates and Misery vibes.
Yes.
I don't know.
I feel like we're just at the boiling, or we're simmering right now. Yeah. We haven't reached the boiling point yet. It's just getting there, and we're about to really see crazy Claudia come out soon.
So this seems like a good point to get ready for prediction.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
Afterbuzz! Ooh, I like it.
Yes, I think Lucious is really going to fall for Claudia, and something's really going to develop, and Cookie's going to have to come in and check it. I also think Cookie's going to run Empire.
Cookie has to run Empire. Cookie is Empire. I'm so happy that, if you notice
the opening sequence,
with Cookie's face there, that to me is everything, because she deserves that. She deserves to be in this position, no matter how it ended up getting there.
I mean, Cookie is the show.
She really is. I think that there is going to be something tricky with Tiana, Hakeem, and Anika. I don't know where this is going to go now that Anika's out. Can she go back to her place? We don't really know. Is she paroled? Have they dropped the charges? We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what the situation was.
She did record, those conversations with Tyreek, which was for Lucious, but they ended up benefiting her in a way that she never could have imagined. So curious to see what's going to happen with that. I think that Detective Rose and Andre is going to be something interesting to watch out for. And I wonder if Warren and Jamal are going to be making more music together.
Oh, I think that's definitely going to happen. That's definitely. I mean, we saw them sing together, and I was just like, I know he's bad, but I want him to be so good.
I mean, like I said, Jamal has great taste. Even
for
if
bad
they're
boys.
bad, great taste for bad guys, but it always results in amazing music, which is the most important thing. So
I know that I'm downloading my Empire track and bumping to it.
I'm ready for the music next week because we get to see what Hakeem is coming out with. He's another one. Both he and Jamal had 2 versions of songs next week. One to please the corporate side and one that they thought the street to their fans or their base. So we'll see how that works out. Well, that's episode 2 of Empire Season 4. Make sure that you are following Afterbuzz TV. You can find me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. Zack, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Just Plain Zack. I keep it simple.
And make sure you guys are following all the channels. Remember, Empire every week is on YouTube Drama. So we will see you back here for episode 3 next week. Thank you for checking us out. We love you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.